Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
Sis, how you doing today?
Good.
My name's Hezekiah. What's your name?
Martha.
Ma'am?
Martha.
Martha?
Yeah.
That's in the Bible. That's a nice name.
Now, my aunt was named Mary.
Oh, okay.
Named after aunt. My aunt was Martha and her twin sister was Mary.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's a good name. So, as a woman, especially with you having a name after another woman in the Bible, what significance do you think that plays into how you should carry your life?
I have my life real good right now.
So you say you carry your life real good right now?
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're nice enough. I don't want to say anything disrespectful, but you are my elder.
Right.
You've been on the earth a little longer than I have. That's a good thing. God's given you that allowance.
Yeah.
Why do you think God gave you that allowance?
Because you have to have a you have to have a balance in your life in order to get to point A.
What you say,
have to
ma'am?
have a balance. You have to make sure that you establish yourself in the right way.
Right. That you establish yourself the right way. Can we Titus 2? Titus 2. Now, a lot of the younger women, have you noticed how the younger women act today as opposed to how they act when you were coming up?
Yeah, totally.
It's night and day. Night and day.
Night and day.
So, what do you think, who can be the best example for how the younger women should really learn how to act? Should they look at the TV women or should they look at you?
The family member that you grew up with.
Right. It should be some responsible family member, like an older aunt, a grandmother, a mother, who can say, look, young lady, that's not how a lady behaves. This is how a lady behaves. This is how you actually, you see a lot of women on the earth. I joke with my wife all the time. Women now don't even know how to bend over. You can't bend over like a man. That's improper for a lady. A lady's supposed to bend at the knees and protect herself, right? A lot of the young ladies don't know that. Read what you got.
Titus chapter 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith.
So the aged men are responsible for teaching the younger men. Me as a younger man, I have to go to an older man who's going to teach me. Here's how you quit being a boy, and here's how you start being a man. Read.
In charity, in patience, the aged women.
The who?
The aged women.
So here's a very important role that God has designed specifically for you. He designed it so specifically for you, he said, I'm going to make sure Martha lives for X amount of years so that she can be of use for her and her people. Read.
The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness.
So when you're a woman who's older, you have a better idea of how to carry yourself. You're the example that the younger woman should be able to look to go, well, you know what? I shouldn't be out here in these hoochie mama shorts showing everybody my curves.
Every day.
Right. But you see that every day. Why? Because the current generation of mothers aren't teaching their daughters that's wrong.
Right.
And that current generation of mothers comes from mothers, because my grandmother, she never wore anything awful like that. She was always in dresses, she was modest, she knew how to take care of the house and the kids. She had all that skill set.
Right.
But these girls now walking the earth, every generation, they lose more and more of that skill set. Right. Now the man at home is angry, he's hungry, and this woman don't know how to cook nothing. She don't even know how to make a bowl of cereal.
Right.
But your grandma used to go in there and throw down an 8-course meal. So what happened? How did that skill set be with our grandmothers and great-grandmothers, but now the women today don't have it?
Right.
Because they don't look towards you to learn, they look towards the TV. BET, Cardi B, wow. Even in her song, she say, I don't cook and I don't clean. What the hell is this? Read what you got.
The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things.
So teachers of good things, teaching a woman how to carry herself. Something like, they used to have something called etiquette school. where older women would teach younger women, here's how you dress, here's how you bend down, here's how you carry yourself, here's how you do this, here's how you do that, here's how you tend to a house, here's how you, when the child's crying. There was a story the other day where a mom was mad with the father of her children. So she took the babies, 2 babies, put them in the oven and cooked them and sent the recording. You saw the story. Where did she learn that from? She didn't learn that from a responsible mother. A responsible mother would say, if a baby's crying, here's how you get the baby to calm down. A responsible woman, an older woman would have taught her, here's how you be a mom.
Bring it out.
Being a mom doesn't mean putting babies in the oven and cooking them.
Right.
That's evil.
Right.
You killing your own people.
Right.
But now, I'm upset the police are killing me. If you're willing to throw my babies in the oven, maybe somebody need to throw you in jail. You don't need to be out here just doing what you want to do.
Right.
Read that again.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things.
I can almost say with 100% certainty, and I say almost, that there's not a woman that was in her life that taught her to do better than that.
Right.
Maybe there was and she refused to listen. That's a different conversation. But 9 times out of 10, we don't have those role models in our lives to teach us. Hey, here's what you do, here's what you don't do. Read.
That they may teach the young women.
They may teach who?
The young women to be sober.
To be what?
To be sober.
Sober means you have a logical mind to make sound decisions. Sober is not just going into alcohol and drugs, it's going into your mind is capable of making intellectual decisions.
Right.
A crying child, an intellectual decision is not put the child in the oven. That is an unintellectual decision. That's not a decision a sober mind would make. Read.
To love their husbands. To love their children. To be discreet.
To be what?
Discreet.
To be discreet. A song like WAP is not discreet. When a woman advertises her sexuality, that's only supposed to be for her husband.
Right.
Only a husband is supposed to know the exact curves of that woman because that's his wife.
Right.
A husband has to understand that if something happens to his house, he's the first line of defense. So because he's in the line of in the danger line, he needs to be prepared to lose his life or his house. Therefore, he's the only one that has earned the right to see her curves. So she has to be discreet. Now look what's happening behind us. Give me Amos 3:6. If there be a siren, an alarm in the city, have the Lord not done it? And then we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16. Because this right here, this is an example of how bad our communities are as a whole. You usually don't see random things catch on fire in white communities. They know how to take care of the trash, they take care of their property, they take care of the people that live next to them, their property. They have signs up called Neighborhood Watch. It's not just one person who's watching out for the neighborhood, it's all of them.
But you got
Yes,
some
ma'am.
of them that don't care.
You got some of them that don't care.
The people that they move into the house, and
Right.
rent,
Right.
And once the rent due, they move out
Right, yes ma'am.
and tear the people's house up.
You're correct. People move in the house, tear it up, and that's a sign of we never used to haven't had anything. So we don't know how to have respect for other people's belongings or things. That's something you should learn as a child from your parents. Your parents are responsible for helping to teach you, learn how to respect other people's things. Read what you got.
Amos chapter 3 verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid?
So a trumpet is an alarm. Back in biblical times, you had men that would stand on the guard walls, and if they saw something was going on, they would blow the trumpet. That's an alarm. Today, that alarm is, it can be the police truck, it can be the fire truck, it could be the emergency ambulance. They turn their horns on because something's wrong. Read.
Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it?
So I see a house behind us, the windows are boarded up, the property's not properly being taken care of, there's a trash pile or an old tree that has caught fire. If that was unattended to, eventually that fire would catch the grass, it would catch that house, and it would take out the entire neighborhood. Now, when we need to solve that problem, do we have a black-owned fire department? No. So now it's mainly the people who are over the emergency responses, fire department, EMT, police, is typically white people. So if they decided tomorrow, if they woke up and said, we're not doing anything to help black communities, which one of us is capable enough to go put that fire out? Which one of us will care enough to do it?
Go find a water hose, put it.
Which one of us will even know to put water on the fire?
Some of them don't know that.
Right. So we're in a dangerous position. We don't even have the ability to take care of ourselves. And now we're depending on the people who, for better or for worse, may not even care about you at all. What if they all decided together to not do anything for us anymore?
And burn it down.
Right. So we have to start learning to be self-sufficient.
Right.
That comes with us teaching the older generation, teaching the younger generation the ways of God.
But you got some of them that don't want to listen to the
You got some of them that don't want to listen. That's correct. If they choose not to listen, that's on them at that point.
Right.
That's on them at that point. All we can do is teach.
They had two families. They had like 3 families staying in this house.
Yes, ma'am.
And the youngest one was down like this, but
Yes, ma'am.
all the youngest one had was this Pampers on. I come up here every day to go to milk.
Yes, ma'am. So there was 3 families in the house.
Right. And then when they moved without telling the landowner they were moving. So
Right.
they moved out and they left all that in the house.
Right, right. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16. I won't curse in the city. Now, our estate is a people, right? So you explained something very heavy. 3 different families were in there. The last family allegedly left.
All 3 of them. They had 3 families staying in one house.
Okay, so 3 families together.
Right.
They all left.
All of them left and left all the furniture in the house.
But left all that trash. Now, what happens is I see strips of business behind me. I would like to assume at least 1 or 2 of those businesses is owned by a black person, right? Maybe
No.
the Mecca Fashion, no? So,
All of this ain't owned by no black people.
so none of it's owned by black people.
No.
Now, here's the danger of something like this happening. If a property like this is on the market, do you think the value for it is high or low? If that value's low, what happens to the rest of the property around it?
Low.
It all begins to come low. When it all becomes low, what's going to happen to all the property?
The value on.
We basically going to get kicked out. Somebody who has money is going to come in and buy all this for cheap, and they're going to kick all of us out. They're going to knock it all down and put high-rise apartments, condominiums that we can't afford. We can't afford that stuff. Right.
You got one on the other side off of that.
They're gonna knock all that stuff down. And this is the type of stuff they wait for. They wait for property value. It's called gentrification. They wait for property value to go down in our communities and buy it up. Then they shoot you a little money to kick you out, not understanding that they're playing the long game to get you out the way so they can do whatever they want with the property. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16.
Bring it out.
Cursed shall they be in the city.
What?
Cursed shall they be in the city.
Cursed is a bad thing. So when the Bible says curse shall you be in the city, it's talking about bad things will happen to you in the city. Bad things happen to us in all ways, shapes, forms, and sizes. Police brutality is not the only bad thing happening to us. Low property value is a bad thing happening to us. Property goes down, that changes your mortgage, that changes your finance rates, that changes how many times the bank is even prepared to give a loan to a black family who wants to live in a neighborhood. Because they're looking at the history of what happens in our communities and they go, nah, these communities aren't good for paying back these loans. So we're not gonna give you a loan to have a house. Now you've been denied a house. But all that stuff starts here with properties not being taken care of. Even if nobody's living in that property, perhaps you have a family, friend, or relative who's looking for a place to live. Yes, ma'am.
Every property that right here is owned by some of the people that own the house. They're
Yes,
like
ma'am.
doctors and lawyers.
Right.
The majority of them black.
Right. So
They don't want to pay the property tax. So what
Right.
they do is the inspectors come by and check the house.
yes, ma'am.
Like that one where I see at 57th Street. It's an apartment across from the church. The church had a lot to do with the people that move over there.
Yes, ma'am.
They have the people move in there. When they move in there, they take the stove, the refrigerator, and they take the baby diaper and smear it all in the oven.
Just uncomely.
And the floor,
Right.
the floor is blacker than this thing right here.
Right. And we don't take care of anything. Now mind you, give me Psalms 82 and 5. I want 82 and 5 and 6. What we teach is according to the Bible that so-called black people were actually God's chosen people.
That's right.
When he created man, the first man was a dark or black man. He made Adam from the dust of the ground.
Right.
When he made Adam, he gave Adam authority over all of creation. Adam was supposed to tend to the garden, meaning Adam was responsible for taking care of the garden. Look at us today. Do we take care of our gardens, of our neighborhoods, and our communities? We're supposed to do that. God is not going to allow us to rise up until we understand how to behave ourselves. If he were to lift us up now, we would just destroy ourselves twice as fast. Read what you got.
Psalms chapter 82 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
They know not, neither will they understand.
Neither will God's people understand, read.
They walk on in darkness.
Another word for darkness is ignorance. A lot of our people move in ignorance, read.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
The foundations means everything that's supposed to be happening on the earth is not happening the way it should be. Why? Because the ones who are supposed to be in charge of making sure things happen correctly are not in charge anymore.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.